Coming up next on Newswatch at noon, the Athens 911 system is asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars to improve their communication system.
Homeowners will soon have to pay for repairs on city sidewalks.
And after months of deliberation, the budget for the Athens community pool is finally approved. Newswatch at noon starts now. The Athens 911 system is requesting to improve their communication system. Good afternoon, I'm Rachel Walbrown.
And I'm Triana Connolly. They're asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars to help with the system. But first, earlier this morning, 3 explosives went off at the Belgian capital of Brussels, killing at least 31 people and leaving more than 100 wounded. The explosives were deployed at an airport and a metro station. All metro stations have been shut down along with the Eurostar trains to Brussels. As of right now, it is unclear who is behind these acts of terrorism. We will have more on this tragic event later in the show.
Athens County 911 wants more than $500,000 to upgrade its communication system. Newswatch at Noon reporter Lily Bradley is live in the newsroom with what this means for Athens County residents. Lily, this sounds like an expensive upgrade.
It is expensive. Right now, Athens County 911 plans to use a loan to make the upgrades. But if a recent grant application is approved, the entire project could be paid for. Now, regardless of how it's funded, the system is in need of an upgrade to replace aging radio equipment.
What it does is it builds a ring around the county, a large internet ring that could be accessed by other government agencies to be used.
Currently, the Athens County Emergency Communications uses an old radio system that combines copper cable with wireless transmitters over 8 radio towers. Pfeiffer says the renovations are crucial, as the current copper links are not as efficient as the microwave system replacement.
Right now we're working on copper phone lines or radio links between towers, and those aren't quite as efficient as a microwave system.
Even with multiple towers scattered throughout the county, the Appalachian Hills of Ohio create what are known as dead zones, which can make communicating with law enforcement by radio or cell phone difficult and unreliable.
The upgrade in the communications equipment would create a more reliable system that will allow communication between emergency personnel to reach areas of the county that currently are difficult for radio to reach because of the hills.
I think response time is crucial. We all know life is to be cherished, and in an emergency we want response time to be minimized and as quick as possible. So anything that we can do, to me, these are no-brainers. Let's do whatever we can to enhance the safety and welfare of our community.
Now, at last night's meeting, City Council introduced a resolution in support of 911's application grant. Council members said that the changes are necessary as more and more people are turning to wireless technology. As for Athens County 911, they hope to have the upgrades completed by the end of the year. Reporting live in the newsroom for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Lily Bradley.
Thanks, Lily. The new communication system would be useful for residents and festgoers. However, this fest season has been relatively quiet compared to past years. Saturday's high temperature hovered in the 40s and rain drizzled throughout the day. With 15 total parties, only 1 was shut down by police. Ohio University cited 25 festers, most of those being for public urination. And although the exact number of arrests is unknown, there were more than last week's Millfest.
An alleged scam caller is contacting local residents claiming to work for the Sheriff's Department. According to the Athens Messenger, the Athens County Sheriff's Office received 18 reports yesterday of the scam calls. Anyone receiving one of these calls should contact the Sheriff's Office and not share their information with the caller. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine rejected a petition that would put a medical marijuana amendment on the November ballot. He wants the language in the petition to be revised and resubmitted by Friday. 1,000 signatures of registered voters will be needed before the petition can be submitted and reviewed by DeWine. The proposed amendment would give adults the right to grow medical marijuana and industrial hemp. It would also give the state the right to tax and regulate commercial production. The marijuana amendment may go up in flames, but a new bill will light up the club scene in Ohio. A bill that was introduced this week would allow smoking in cigar clubs and other private groups, even if the club is next to other buildings. Representatives with the American Lung Association, American Heart Association, and American Cancer Society want to clear the air. saying there's no need to change the current law.
The number of Athens County residents receiving a new concealed carry gun permit has increased by 42%. Statewide, there was only an increase of 23%. These numbers come from a report released by the Ohio Attorney General. While counties in Ohio are seeing an increase of concealed carry permits, a discussion on the same topic is happening at Ohio University.
We're not really excited about this bill, but once again, we want to bring it to your attention as it has passed the House, currently being discussed in Senate. We'll see where it goes in the future weeks and months.
That was Ohio University President Roderick McDavis last week discussing House Bill 48. The bill could expand the state's concealed carry law to include high education campuses. It would allow university boards of trustees to adopt policies that would permit the carry of concealed handguns on campus. If the Board of Trustees does not adopt a concealed carry policy, the charge for a licensed gun owner who carries a handgun on campus would be reduced to a minor misdemeanor. And Ohio University students are looking to make a change themselves. Last night, Student Senate hosted an open forum, allowing all candidates to voice their opinions on student and university issues. A total of 7 candidates for the 2 tickets showed up to the forum. Unite was represented by all 5 candidates, while Impact only had 2 of their 4. The election will take place next week, and all university students will receive an email with an attached ballot.
A powerful telescope is getting a new home at the Ridges after sitting in the basement of Clippinger Hall since 2008. The 4,400-pound telescope will live in the new observatory, set to open in 2017. Ohio University is expected to spend over $320,000 on the observatory. The telescope was originally made in 1950, but has been revamped to have modern technology. It's time for property owners to pay up. Their latest bill comes following City Council's passage of the special assessment for repairing sidewalks. Newswatch at Noon reporter Megan Vanslow is live from North Congress, where some of those repairs have been completed.
City Council is happy with the improvements that have been made, but some renters aren't as pleased. They say while the improvements are good, more needs to be done.
New concrete sidewalks on parts of Congress show the repairs. The city informed residents last spring the repairs would be made and that the homeowners would have to foot the bill.
But yeah, this summer our sidewalks were really bad in the dark, like at nighttime, it's not really well lit up here. And I fell down and got my knees all cut up.
With last night's passage of the ordinance, the owners will be billed for those repairs. The city is pleased with the results.
Oh, they're great. Oh, they're hands down improved 100%. Especially, I would say, the North Congress.
But many spots on North Congress were untouched.
There's this one section that you always have to jump over when you're on a run because it's always right where I'm running. Super annoying for them to tear up all the sidewalks in the first place because each section was getting done at different times, so you'd have to walk on the street. But if they came back and did that again, I'd be super annoyed.
Papai says some property owners replaced their sidewalks before the construction.
Now, there's another concern. Some students are worried their rent will go up to offset the cost of those repairs. Now, property owners would not comment, but Congresswoman Papaya says she hopes that does not happen. Reporting live from Congress Street, I'm Megan Vanslow.
Thanks, Megan.
Improvements aren't only happening in Athens. Nelsonville residents gathered in awe at the reveal of a repaired piece of their history. The clock that has been ticking in Public Square since the late 70s was refurbished and back on display in front of the old People's Bank building. The man credited for the ironically timeless Nelsonville landmark was also at the ceremony. Athens City Pool has approved the use of $500,000 towards the design and engineering of a new city pool. The project is set to be done within the next few months. The Arts, Parks, and Recreation Department has been testing the pool's liner since last week to see if it can hold water. Councilman Kent Butler said the city is hoping the pool will be reopened this summer.
And we were updated by the assistant to Arts, Parks, and Recreation, Andrew Cheeky. And so he's still doing some digging and research to find out whether or not the lining of the pool can be successfully patched. So I think it's fair to say there's no new news on that, other than we're keeping our fingers crossed.
There is is no timeline on when a decision will be made. Vice President Joe Biden is showing support for former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland to win the Senate seat.
The Brussels suicide attacks are wreaking havoc on the city, and leaders around the nation are speaking out. Find out more when Newswatch at Noon returns.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
We have more on the bombings in Brussels. Investigators are looking into the possibility that one of the explosions was caused by a bomb inside a suitcase. Both of the bombs that went off in the airport went off in the departure hall, and another blast went off in a subway station, leaving a total of 3 explosions. Investigators do not know the motive behind the attacks, but are working to find answers.
A lot of heavy weapons have been found, which is an indication that something was perhaps being planned for the next few days, and our people in Brussels knew about that. They were fully aware that they had to act and act swiftly.
As investigators continue to look into the situation, a Belgian TV station is reporting that at least one of the bombs at the Brussels airport contained nails. An Iraqi intelligence official says sources in Syria told them that the Islamic State has been planning terrorist attacks in Europe for 2 months, which would, quote, target airports and train stations. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the bombings. Following the attacks, at least 2 U.S. cities have reacted to stepping up their security measures. New York and Washington, D.C. have tightened security around subways and airports. Police have also increased canine sweeps and police patrols.
And sticking with things happening outside the country, Israel has been a hot topic as of late for presidential candidates. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are sticking on the side of Israel, but Bernie Sanders has been critical about how the U.S. has handled some of the things that Israel has done.
The United States, time and time again, has looked aside when Israel has done some bad things. I think, for example, that the growth of settlements in Palestinian territory is not acceptable to me and not conducive to the peace process.
Israel and Palestine will continue to be a hot topic throughout the rest of the election. And in a news conference yesterday, President Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro sparred over human rights, the Guantanamo prison, and views of their own countries and the world. As a new step in normalizing relations between countries, Obama has moved quickly to solidify the U.S. opening to Cuba by publishing 5 rounds of regulatory changes, easing restrictions on travel and finance. Vice President Joe Biden is lending his helping hand in the effort to unseat Ohio Republican Senator Rob Portman. Biden headlined a fundraising breakfast this morning for former Governor Ted Strickland at a downtown Cincinnati hotel. Strickland has criticized Portman's disapproval of President Barack Obama's choice for the Supreme Court vacancy as their Senate race heats up.
After deliberating for nearly 4 hours yesterday, jurors in the Hulk Hogan sex tape case ignored a plea for mercy from Gawker Media. The jury also added another $25 million to the $115 million they already awarded to the ex-wrestler. Hogan sued Gawker for violating his privacy by posting a snippet of a sex tape. The FBI says it may not need Apple's help unlocking the iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino shooters. At the government's request, a federal judge in California has postponed the hearing that would force Apple to help investigators unlock one of the shooter's phones from the Office massacre. Court filings say an outside party has come up with a method that allows the government to get into the phone without losing its data.
The start of spring got off to a chilly start, but don't worry, this cold weather doesn't plan to stick around for long.
And men's basketball continues on the CBI tournament after their win against University North Carolina Greensboro. We have a recap of the game when Newswatch returns.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Even though the cold weather is sticking around for a while longer, the scenery in Washington, D.C. is expected to look bright. The National Park Service says temperatures are expected to stay above freezing, meaning cherry blossoms will bloom right on schedule this year.
Yeah, and those cherry blossoms, I know they're really bright and blooming all over Ohio University's campus as well.
Let's hear from Michaela Marshall over in weather. Michaela, please tell me this warm weather is here to stay.
Well, that's right, Rachel. It is definitely a lot warmer today than it has been. We are currently sitting at a really comfortable 53 degrees. It's very sunny and there's not a cloud in the sky. The winds are a bit high at 16 miles per hour, and we also have a humidity of about 42%. When you look across the region, everyone else is sitting at a really comfortable 50 degrees as well. I know that in Columbus they're at 50 degrees, and in Ironton, they're a bit warmer at 57, and also in New Martinsville, they're also a little bit higher at 57 degrees. And when you look into today, the high is 65 and the low is 45. That's just a little bit warmer than it usually is at 57 and 35. And in 1907, we did have a record high of 86 degrees, which is extremely high and nothing that we're going to be seeing today. And in 1986, we did have a low of 14 degrees, which is very low, and we shouldn't be seeing temperatures like that anytime soon. We're also going to have about 12 hours of daylight today, so that's something to look forward to. We're not going to be having the sunset until about 7:43 tonight. And when you look at the national map, you can see that across the board, there's a lot of precipitation up in the west coast, and it's going to follow along where these low pressure is heading right towards us. And so we're definitely going to see some storms coming up in the near future, so that's something to keep an eye out for. when you look at our afternoon highs, there's nothing weather-wise you really need to be worrying about. Everything is really beautiful in the 60s pretty much everywhere. Ironton is still a little bit warmer at 66, and it is 62 in Athens, so that's exciting. Definitely a good time to go for an afternoon run. The overnight lows are going to dip down just a little bit into the low 40s and low and upper 40s. We do have 47 in Ironton, 48 in Chillicothe, and we do have 48 in Columbus as well. And when you look into tonight, you'll see that in Athens it's going to be 45 degrees and partly cloudy. It's also going to have no chance of rain, so that's definitely something to look forward to since we are going to be having a lot of rain coming in the near future. We do have mild winds at about 13 miles per hour. And when you look into the hour by hour for tonight, you're going to see that at 8 p.m. we're going to have 56 degrees and it's going to be super clear skies. So this would be a great time to go on a walk with your friends, maybe go get some ice cream. And it's going to be 50 degrees at midnight with a couple more clouds in the sky. And going into 6 a.m. we are going to have 47 degrees and a lot more clouds. And when you look at the 7-day forecast, you can see that it's 69 degrees as the high and 52 for the low tomorrow, which is very nice. When you look into Thursday, though, however, you see that it is got a 90% chance of rain, and on Saturday, it's going to be nice and sunny. However, on Sunday, for Easter Sunday, it's going to be 73 degrees as the high, and there is a really high chance of thunderstorms. The rain is going to continue through Monday, but come again on Tuesday, we will just have some cloudy skies. So there is a lot going on this week weather-wise.
Yeah, I'm sure excited for those warmer weathers.
The rain I could do without, but I'm definitely excited for that 70 degrees on Sunday.
Yeah, me too.
If you're looking for something to do tonight, you might want to check out My House, My Rules,
where some community members and economic specialists will be discussing ideas for lodging in Athens. That and more on today's community calendar.
I heard the Combo was the place to be last night.
Yeah, and men's basketball fans definitely went crazy over their win against North Carolina Greensboro. Christina Sicard, tell us what happened.
The Bobcats last night, they might have pulled off that win, but it was definitely a close one. The Ohio men's basketball team continues to roll in the CBI tournament series. Last night, the Bobcats came out on top over the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Newswatch Noon reporter Kellyanne Stitz was at the Convocation Center to see the action unfold.
This was the second quarterfinal of the CBI tournament at the Convo.
Ohio is making its 22nd national postseason appearance in program history and second in the CBI.
The Bobcats trailed most of the first half and struggled to keep a solid lead, but came out on top in the end, defeating the Spartans 72-67, clinching a spot in the CBI semifinals. Early in the first half, Jerron Simmons brought his A-game on offense and got his 264th assist of the season to break the single-season MAC record. Ohio briefly took the lead, but the Spartans came back with a 10-0 run, forcing the Cats to fall 31-19. The Cats began to work their way back into the game from the inside, closing the scoring gap 36-32 by the half. The team started the second half with an explosive drive from freshman Jordan Dardis and solid ball movement, resulting in a three from Kenny Kaminsky. Dardis put the team back on top, giving them momentum after landing a huge three from behind the arc, putting the Bobcats in the lead near the end of the second half. But the dynamic duo of Simmons and Dardis got Ohio the win. With just 24 seconds left, Dardis got possession and made another career clutch shot, floating a three and securing a 70-67 lead.
You know what I'm saying? We was down, 12 or 15 at the point of the game and came back and hit that shot, and then Jerome put the free throws, icing on the cake. It just felt really good to me. So it's ranked up there pretty high.
Somehow he got the ball. Thank God he got the ball. And, I was trying to get it back, but he wasn't going. So he wanted to take that big shot, and he did it, and it paid off.
With just 14 seconds left, Simmons got fouled and knocked down both from the line to seal the victory 72-67. Reporting for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Kellyanne Stitz.
Even though it wasn't the NCAA tournament, Ohio's comeback yesterday was a friendly reminder that it is in fact March Madness. The Bobcats face Morehead State tomorrow at the Convocation Center. The Eagles are looking to get their third postseason win for the first game in their program history. The last time the Bobcats appeared in the CBI was in 2008. The Convo will surely be roaring for the Bobcats to win tomorrow. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. While the men's team remains in the Convo, the Ohio women's team will hit the road to take on Temple in the third round of the WNIT tomorrow night. The Bobcats took down Virginia Tech 64-57 on Sunday to capture their second postseason win in program history. Kiana Black scored 13 points but left the game in the second half due to a shoulder injury. Temple is coming off a close 64-62 victory over Quinnipiac. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Staying with the women, softball plays at Marshall tonight. Ohio is a 16-7 record, while the Thundering Herd is currently 16-10. Once again, junior pitcher Savannah Jo Dorsey was named MAC East Pitcher of the Week. This is the second week in a row she has received the honor for her striking performance. First pitch of the doubleheader is at 2 p.m. this afternoon. You can catch men's baseball hitting away tonight against Youngstown State. Ohio has batters left and right, batting at an average of 300 or better. Rudy Rod has batted a team-high 20 runs and ranks third for the team's batting average. And he's only a freshman. Ohio faced Youngstown State once last night, winning 6-3. The first pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. tonight at Bob Wren Stadium. From swinging bats to swinging clubs, women's golf sits tied for 12th place after 2 days of competition at the Spring Citrus Challenge hosted by Morehead State University. Junior Haley Henneridge leads the Bobcats, sitting tied for 9th place. She shot 73 yesterday and has a total 2-day score of 148. The Bobcats wrap up play at the MSU Spring Citrus Challenge today. Men's golf also teed off this morning in Williamsburg, Virginia. They are tied for 9th place at the Kings Mill Intercollegiate after playing for 2 days. Junior Bobcat Peyton White is tied for 4th place, totaling at a total of 140. The last day of this tournament is today, but the Bobcats will soon return on the course April 2nd and 3rd at their next invitational. Coming off the heels of a 20-point loss to the Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers returned home to the Q last night and returned to their winning ways. In addition to winning their 58th game of the season for the 9th time in franchise history, the Cavs clinched their second consecutive Central Division championship with a 124-91 win over the Nuggets. Cleveland looked like they had a point to prove from the start. LeBron James posted his 41st triple-double of his career and led the team with 33 points. J.R. Smith added 15 points, followed by Channing Frye, who filed in for Kevin Love to add 14. And finally, the Columbus Blue Jackets are back on the ice, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers at home tonight. Flyers have achieved one of the best NHL records in the past month. While the Flyers have 31 wins and 27 losses, the Jackets sit last place in the Eastern Conference with a total of 29 wins and 35 losses. We'll see if the Jackets can pull off a win at 7 p.m. tonight. So I really don't know if they'll win tonight, but we have a lot of things going on in sport anyways.
With all the weather, I'm sure both the Convo and the baseball fields will be full tonight.
We have all heard of Leonardo da Vinci, but what about Dog Vinci? This is Dagger, a dog in New York who's gotten a reputation as quite the artist. Known as Dog Vinci, this pooch is a 3-year-old black lab originally supposed to be a helper dog for those who have disabilities. His owner realized he had a different talent, painting. Dagger uses a brush made of duct tape and paper towel tube that he holds in his mouth. The paintings he makes sell about between $50 and $100. That's all for us here at Newswatch at Noon. Tune in at 6:30 for Newswatch for continuing coverage on the Brussels attack.
And tomorrow on Newswatch at Noon, we'll show you the economics behind lodging like Airbnb in Athens. Thanks for watching and have a great day.